Well, folks, week 6 was a bad, rough week of NFL football. I mean, how could you say it wasn't? Maybe your team won, so you're happy about that. But even then, it was pretty rough. There are a lot of bad games, a lot of bad football being played. You know it. And it all started off with Thursday night because what better way to follow up Broncos and Colts on Amazon Prime than the Commanders in Soldier Field to take on Bears football? And just when you thought the week before sucked, here come the Commanders and Bears football to say, we can top it. And they did. The Commanders beat the Bears 12-7. Oh, God. It gets better, America. The Bears will be on primetime Monday night against the Patriots. So once again, you get Bears football. Oh, God. Thursday night was an indication of the week that was to come. Because, like I said, there were a lot of bad games. There really were. The Falcons' D, when you switch over to the Sunday games, held tough against the run, forced 3 turnovers as they beat the 49ers 28-14. Yippee, yippee, yippee. Jacoby Brissett had 3 turnovers himself. Bailey Zappi looked like more of a seasoned vet. Bill Belichick wins his 324th game as an NFL head coach, tying George Halas for second on the all-time list, now just trailing down Shula. Patriots win 38-15. The Jets' defense and special teams unit ruled the day in Lambeau as they dominated the Packers and won convincingly. Impressive performance for them, not so much for Green Bay, 27-10. Matt Ryan, maybe he's not so washed. Yeah, for 1 week, he had a bit of a more vintage performance, had a big day, 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, his counterpart Trevor Lawrence certainly struggled. Again, the Colts beat the Jaguars 34-27. The Vikings picked off their old quarterback Teddy Bridgewater twice. Had enough Dalvin Cook late touchdown to hold off the Miami Dolphins 24-16. Joe Burrow connects with just over 2 minutes to go with Jamar Chase, what ends up being a 60-yard touchdown pass, and the Bengals get past the Saints. Andy Dalton does not get his revenge on his former team, 30-26. Lamar Jackson had a couple of boners late. The Giants moved to 5-1 with a 24-20 win over the Ravens. That's right, the New York Football Giants are 5-1. How about that? Mitchell Trubisky came in to relieve an injured Kenny Pickett through a touchdown pass himself, and the Steelers get past Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-18. Robbie Anderson melted down on the sidelines and got booted by interim head coach Steve Wilks during the game. Quickly got booted out of Carolina as he was traded to Arizona the other day. But nonetheless, Panthers' offense, their passing game in particular, it also melted down. The Rams outmitted the freaking Panthers and win 24-10. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals struggled to get some traction, struggled to put points on the board. The Seahawks had enough to hold on for a 19-9 victory. Josh Allen threw a touchdown pass with just over a minute to go to tight end Dawson Knox, and then Teron Johnson with a pick of Patrick Mahomes. The Bills get a big win in Arrowhead over the Chiefs, 24-20. On Sunday night, the Eagles continuing to show how they are a legit team to worry about in the NFC and in the NFL this year. They jumped on the Cowboys early, had a 20-0 lead, held off a bit of a Dallas Cowboys comeback, and go on to win 26-17 to remain the NFL's lone unbeaten team now at 6-0. And then on Monday night, because that's what the world needed, right? That's what America needed. More Russell Wilson in prime time. The Chargers and Broncos offenses largely stunk it up on Monday night. Went to overtime because, of course, that's just what we needed. Dustin Hopkins with a 39-yard field goal lifts the LA Chargers to a 19-16 win over the now 2-4 Denver Broncos. Yikesies indeed. When you look at winners and losers for the week, I'll start with the winners. That was a big win for the Jets. Go on the road to Lambeau, beat Aaron Rodgers, have your defense play that well. Quinnen Williams looking like a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate early on. You're now 4-2. Things are looking positive for the New York Jets. Big win for them. Big win for the Buffalo Bills as well, sticking with the AFC East theme. To go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs like that. Now you got to do it potentially in the playoffs, but you did it again in the regular season, and that could really make a difference when it comes to deciding, playoff seeding, potentially home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. And then the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, you could say, well, the Cowboys didn't have Dak, but the Cowboys are playing some decent football, and the Philadelphia Eagles handled them relatively comfortably. Like, that was a big win for them. Gives them a 2-game lead over the Cowboys, an early season tiebreaker over them. Like, that was a big win for the Eagles. Impressive stuff indeed. And then some of the losers from week number 6. Da Bears. Bears football. I rest my case. But seriously, the Green Bay Packers. Like, they look terrible. They really do. Especially offensively. What the hell are they even trying to do? I don't understand why you would bring back Aaron Rodgers and put such a mid-supporting cast around him. But Aaron Rodgers has been mid himself too. So, like, one kind of begets the other. I understand that. But, yeah, really bad. Like, the Packers are sitting there, 500 record. Like, it does not look encouraging for them right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like, they needed to get the job done against the Steelers. That should be a layup game. And they lost it. And the Steelers jumped on them early, and the Bucs never really recovered. That's not good. It's not a good look early under new head coach Todd Bowles. And then what more can I say about the Denver Broncos? You lose another game in prime time, lose another game in the division. Russ had a start to the game that looked really impressive. You're like, oh, wow, this is vintage Russ kind of cooking. And then you had 3 more quarters, and he sucked most of the rest of the way. And you think about all that they invested in terms of draft picks and guaranteed money into Russell Wilson, and that's what they got. Not good. The Broncos are 2-4. In terms of stars for the week, I look at Matt Ryan, 42 of 58 passing for 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had 7 receptions, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner for the Bengals. In terms of defensive units, I go with the Jets. Go into Lambeau, and they made the Packers look really bad. Like, it was an impressive performance for a young, athletic defense like them. And then in terms of coaches, you got to go with Bill Belichick. Like, I'm sitting there watching the Bears with Justin Fields against a scrub-ass Commanders defense, and Fields looks doo-doo, and that offense looks terrible. Meanwhile, here comes Bill Belichick. He's got a mid-round rookie, Bailey Zappi, looking like a seasoned vet. You know, it just speaks to how great of a coach Bill Belichick is, and certainly deserving of that, you know, place in history now, tied for second with George Halas for most wins as an NFL head coach. But the common theme, my 2-minute drill this week, was just really bad offensive football. And I'm starting to see more people talk about this on social media. Like, the quality of play offensively, especially the first 6 weeks, has not been good. And as much as some of the psychos might want to pretend like, well, that's because the defense has been fantastic. You know, there could be something to defenses. Like, naturally, it's an ebb and flow of the league. Like, offenses do something, then defenses are slow to catch up, and eventually they do, and then you have to change it. That could be one factor, but it can't be the only one. Like, why is it so bad right now? I point to a couple of things. One could be, like I said, defenses playing a little softer in their coverage, not allowing teams to get over the top as much on them in the passing game. That could be a piece there. I think another big piece is so many of these offenses didn't play meaningful reps in preseason live game action to get ready for the season. So they're in like a constant catch-up mode early on. It just feels even more pronounced early on this season. And then I look at the quarterback position around the league. Like, sure, you still have the Mahomeses and the Allens of the world, but Tom Brady's 45, and he doesn't quite look as vintage. Aaron Rodgers is pushing 40, and he doesn't look great. You've recently had guys over the past few years retire, like Rivers and Big Ben and Eli. Not that Eli was on that level necessarily, but the point I'm getting at here is Drew Brees. Like, these are guys that were kind of the pillars of the quarterback position in the NFL for a long time, and they're not there. And then you look at like some of these draft classes and the guys like the Baker Mayfields and the Josh Rosens and the Sam Darnolds, they busted out. They aren't stepping up to take that place. Dwayne Haskins did not work out and sadly passed away. Like, you could look at these guys. You look at 2021, that quarterback class. Long way to go for Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. You got to even have Trey Lance healthy to have a chance to see what he could do. Frankly, same thing this year with Mac Jones, and Justin Fields has looked bad. I mean, these are some of the guys that you're pointing to, you're looking at and saying, hey, they could be a part of the future of the league. They're the standard bearers, but right now they haven't stepped up into the void, and I think you're seeing that. It's not just any one thing, but man, I sure hope to God the offense gets better As right now, it's a hard watch to sit there through all of these games on Sunday and Monday, and especially Thursday night. Yuck.